Guys, this one will shock you. Today I'm going to talk about perspective of a golf course Gurgaon resident on the recent hazardous AQI and the pollution in the city. So as we all know, most of us would know that pollution or the AQI levels in the north of India, particularly Delhi NCR region, has crossed the 500 mark, which is hazardous. It is dangerous. People I know are coughing, people I know are also in hospitals, it's all kind of diseases that are showing up. And today I'm going to talk about my perspective of the pollution and what I personally feel as a resident of the golf course road in Gurgaon, which is one of the most prestigious locations in the country, and what it is like living here. So also I will jump upon a little bit about how recently I saw this post where someone has compared an apartment in New York with an apartment on the golf course road, and we will also talk a little bit about that. So AQI crossing 500, hazardous. Now, those of you who have traveled abroad or in the European countries would admire what amazing air quality they have. क्या हवा होती है वहाँ जब land करो, the first breath of air is so refreshing, and that's actually what we look forward to whenever we go. Or not even abroad, let's talk about we go to Shimla or we go to Manali or down south in the coastal areas, maybe Goa or Kerala. What amazing air, which now feels like a luxury, true luxury. Also, in countries such as France, when you go to Paris and वहाँ पे जब AQI 50 cross कर जाता है, in the developed first world countries, when the AQI crosses 50, that's when it is declared like an emergency. That's when it is treated like an emergency. 50 AQI is a luxury in the city that we live in. So when they declare 50 AQI, for example in Paris, I came across this article. That's when they impose the odd even rules. Recently also I was in Munich, I was in Germany, and when you were approaching the city from the autobahn, I was traveling from Frankfurt to Munich, and वहाँ पे भी जब हम approach कर रहे थे city को, उन्होंने बहुत interesting चीज़ करी है. What they did is they have the city center. I will compare the city center of Munich to maybe say Connaught Place in Delhi or the golf course road in Gurgaon, which is the city center. That's where they are prohibiting the use of gas or IC engines, diesel and petrol engines, and only electric vehicles are allowed in that area on maybe certain time of the day, for example 2 to 5 p.m. only electric vehicles allowed, which is really cool. So they've demarked this zone and it shows legit on Google Maps. Okay, now you're entering this area, you're approaching this area, which is only electric vehicle area allowed. So it is hazardous. No, the bad part here, the not so, I would say, exciting part here is that nothing is going to happen, nothing is going to change. Did anything change in the last 5 years? Yes, they have prohibited the sale of firecrackers, but this Diwali or the last Diwali or the Diwali before that was the same news. They have prohibited firecrackers, but did they really prohibit it? Did you not hear crackers bursting? Hell, last night I could hear firecrackers blow off around, and I am in Gurgaon. So is the sale really banned? Well, if it was banned, then how come there were so many firecrackers on the day of Diwali? And also this time we had 2 days of Diwali, which was another, I think, episode, another thing to talk about, but let's stick to this. So nothing is changing in the last couple of years. Population is increasing in Gurgaon. Today it is reached the 2.5 million mark. 25 लाख लोग हैं अगर गुड़गांव में, और वो इंक्रीज ही होने हैं. So since the population is ever increasing, despite all of this pollution issues, despite the waterlogging issues, despite the electricity issues, despite the there's no water in the summer issues, people are still migrating here like anything. I think Gurgaon is one of the most migrated to cities in the country, and it is only going to increase. Which brings me to my next point, that construction is in full swing. The supply is in full swing. Now, if we are having such an influx of population in the country, in the city, we need houses for them, we need the right infrastructure for them, which in fact we are actually in a backlog. We are trying to fulfill those needs in the city of Gurgaon. And given that the construction is in full swing, my question is to the builders, are you taking the right measures to curb the pollution, be it the air pollution, be it the noise pollution, be it the other environmental norms? Are you watching those? Are you taking care of those? And this is a shout out to all the builders who are verifying and taking care of all the who are taking care of the environment and the pollution norms. But I don't see the kind of measures that should have been or could have been are there. Now, one of the things that I also witnessed when I was in Germany was this building that was being broken down. So bang opposite my hotel was one of the courts of this was in Frankfurt, and bang opposite my hotel there was a building that was broken down. And when they were demolishing the building, there was this legitimate huge ass crane, and there was this gentleman on the crane, like a firefighter, who was pouring water. This was at least, I think, the 7th or the 10th story of the building that was being broken down, and all the dust that is being dissipated was settled down by this water gun. So he's shooting water on all the dust that is falling, so that the dust doesn't फैले ना हो और pollution ना हो. मतलब वहाँ पे you look at the cars here, every car is bloody shining, it's sparkling, because there's not a fucking ounce of dust, pardon my French, on any car. They are shining. And here, right outside my house, my cars are being cleaned 5 times a day. Every 2 hours there's so much dust. In fact, there's so much pollution that my next door, I share my wall, my new neighbor who's now also building, he's now demolishing a house next door, and he's obviously going to build it. I will not name him, but he's one of the top, he's not the top, he is the founder of one of the top, one of the food delivery apps. And it is a nuisance, We wake for the last 2 months, we wake up to drilling noise. There's all kinds of hammering, everything going on through the day. So, is anyone doing anything about it? No. Are there rules about it? Yes. Are they being followed? Kind of. And it is only going to increase. Like I said, real estate prices are only going to increase because the population influx is so huge in north of India, in Gurgaon specifically. People are still coming. So, what can we do about it? Honestly, we can't do much about it. If you're rich, you can be like one of those Bollywood celebrities, how they have different houses for different seasons, a house in the hills for the summer, a house on the beach for the winter, different properties, and I'm serious, this is what the rich are doing. They have their base in Gurgaon, but they have a summer house and they have a winter house. And whenever push comes to shove, this kind of weather shows up, this kind of issues show up, they simply migrate. They leave the town for 2 months or a month and try to be safe and away from the nonsense. Other ways of being safe, yes, stay indoors, install all kinds of air purifiers. What I personally have done, I have air purifiers. In fact, even in this room, I have installed an air purifier. Everywhere in my office, I have air purifiers. stay indoors, do betadine goggles through the day and every night before sleeping, wear a mask, take steam. But the number one point is stop wasting energy, stop draining energy, looking at, oh man, there's so much pollution, because nothing is being done from that energy that we are draining or wasting on these issues. So those were my 2 cents on the pollution issue in the north of India. I hope you're keeping safe. I hope you are staying safe. And I hope we get through this. And I hope and pray that it changes. On that note, thanks guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you in person someday. Bye.